He missed the last game with injury. Also include Eli Just, who had a top season at Motherwell, and Chris Brood, who is their talisman, the Nottingham Forest number 9. And it's not very often that the game isn't solely about the result. It's about patterns, it's about fitness, and about a manager still settling on his best 11. Thomas Tuchel is still searching for 1 or 2 answers. 1 or 2 players searching for a few minutes. 2 of the best number 9s in the business, Chris Wood and Harry Kane, coming together for the last warm-up but one. The heat, the humidity, and hopefully a dry run. England in red shirts, New Zealand in all white. Our referee is from Florida, Natalie Simon. We do have VAR, but we have no goal line technology, and we have a few new laws to worry about. Lee Dixon is here. You won domestic and European trophies. You played for England. What are you actually looking for in a game like this?
Well, I think there's no need for a warm-up. It's warm enough, but it's more like a training session. I think Thomas Tuchel has made that evident by the fact that he's playing 2 different teams and swapping them all over at half-time. But it's just important that the players that need minutes, John Stones certainly stands out in that department, get that time. It's interesting him saying about they're going to play with a high press and put the effort in that 45 minutes each team, but they simply won't be able to play that for 90 minutes in a real game when the World Cup starts. So it's an interesting one. So it's an obvious training session for the players.
So many reports yesterday about the playing surface, and we'll keep an eye on it as the ball goes towards Ollie Watkins. Did look as if it took a flick off Kakache. It's the first corner of the game for England.
Yeah, the person I always, there's a little touch, the person I always think about when you're talking about pitches, people go down, take photographs, ask a player, and we had a player on the pitch in Ian Wright, and he certainly said there was some things to be concerned about. So
I think they've got to be concerned about the new interpretation of the laws here as they take this first corner of the game. Rashford delivers it. It was headed away by Boxall. Jordan Henderson is on the ball here. And the first touch for Jordan Pickford. Yeah, there was a Post Malone concert here 2.5 weeks ago, and you can see that the pitch has only really just been relayed, but they seem pretty comfortable with it when we were down there earlier on today. I think Max Crocombe was particularly comfortable with that distribution. New Zealand just about to head to their first World Cup since 2010. They romped through their qualifying campaign, 5 wins, 29 goals scored, 1 conceded, but those matches were against Tahiti, Fiji, Vanuatu and the like. The step up is enormous. Just found themselves well beaten by Haiti in a warm-up game in midweek. Harry Kane looking for Jarell Quansah. Those 2 both playing in the Bundesliga now. Quansah keeps that alive, beats Kakache. Singh trying to get the better of Mainu. John Stones comes out. This is Watkins, who had such a stellar end to the season.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him playing on that right-hand side, how he links up with Harry Kane when he drops short. I think Karen was talking about that before the game started. And obviously, Thomas Tuchel actually saying, well, he's just filling in at right wing on the right side because we haven't got anybody to play there. So he has played there before.
Thomas Tuchel yesterday very clear that he wanted to get everybody 45 minutes in match conditions. He was a little bit concerned about some of the new laws that we've all got to get our head around over the course of the next few weeks. More use of VAR at set pieces, reviews for second yellows, new time-wasting laws that are in play. He said he wanted to get together with a FIFA ref to check them out. Lovely touch by Rashford. Looks lean and sharp. Chance for Jordan Henderson. Struck it well, hit the back of Joe Bell.
You can see his eyes lighting up when the ball got played to him because he was in acres of space. Henderson couldn't quite get the shot away.
New Zealand's boss, Darren Paisley, he's an Englishman, ex-Watford, Wolves, Walsall defender. 15 years now in New Zealand, 3 as the head coach. He was pretty keen to tell us that Graham Taylor is one of his big influences. He will be one of 2 English managers at the World Cup.
There's a bit of evidence there about the pitch. Ball just got fizzed at Gay, left side centre-back, and his first touch let him down, and that very rarely occurs with him because he's a very good footballer. Just a little bobble off the pitch just before it gets to him.
Thomas Tuchel was rather playful in his interview with Gabriel, where he said if things do go wrong this afternoon, we'll blame the pitch.
He hasn't even been on it, has he? He said, what's the pitch like? I don't know, I haven't been on it. I suppose he doesn't need to go on it, really. He's not going to be needed, is he, today?
I think he delegated that responsibility to someone else. Stamanic. Good turn by the Swansea man, and then Kakete looking to get the ball out wide towards his left-hand side, and Eli just a little bit too early and eager with his cross.
Well, do you know what? He's every right to think that somebody would keep up pace with him and try to get in the box. It was a really good ball inside Kwanzaa.
Eli Just, who's had a really good season with Motherwell, who have been playing some really good football in the Scottish Premiership this season. Rashford's made a darting run. Anderson trying to find him.
That's a feature when you're playing a side who's way down the rankings. What they do is they get fearful a little bit, and that shows up when the ball's being crossed or long balls. They drop too deep. They're not confident defensively to put enough pressure on the ball to stop the long balls or the cross or to defend the box, so they tend to drop into the box towards the goalkeeper.
Gay had his hands full there. He's a little bit too physical with Chris Wood. The referee was quick to give the free kick when it didn't materialise any advantage for New Zealand. Marko Stamanic with a foul.
It's a good ball into feet, that look. Anytime you can get a ball 30-40 yards into a forward's feet, always a good ball.
Already Rashford and Watkins have switched flanks. Rashford looks in terrific shape. Lean and athletic. He came out here in the last few weeks after the end of the La Liga season, where he won the division with Barcelona. He's been working in Florida for a couple of weeks at a warm weather training camp to get himself primed and ready for action for England. It's Kobe Mainoo, reborn under Michael Carrick. Jed Spence trying to test Tim Payne. Mainoo, Henderson, ball waiting in the middle. It's flicked to the back post, and that will go out for another corner.
Yeah, have a look at this. Have a look at New Zealand's back line when this cross comes in. It's a good angle cross. It's just laid back. And he puts the angle. Look how deep the last defender is, and almost on the 6-yard box. Not willing to get out, not confident enough to get out. And they get away with one, New Zealand there, a little flick.
Well, if there is any holding or infringements before the ball is kicked here, as we have seen in the Premier League over the course of the season, and then a goal is scored, that will be available to be reviewed by the VAR in a tweak to the laws. And that's a good opportunity for John Stones, who was set fair inside the box. It was, in the end, scrambled away by New Zealand.
Well, he put his hands on his head because he should score. He finds himself in acres. I think he thought somebody was going to challenge him. Look how much space he had around him. He should do better, John Stones, there. Maybe a lack of practice.
Set pieces are going to be key for England at this World Cup. Thomas Tuchel has said as much. Here's Chris Wood getting in behind the England defence, trying to cause Gay a problem. defended it well enough.
Well, you do well to run Gay. No disrespect to Chris Wood, he's not the fastest. And when he looks up, just look at the support he's got. Absolute none whatsoever. No one in the middle. Got to take Gay on, and he's too good a defender to get past him like that.
He finds himself isolated in this formation because New Zealand end up dropping a little bit deep when they play better opposition and then quickly trying to release the ball forward. Here's the last man standing from the 2010 World Cup. He burst onto the scene as a teenager for New Zealand.
Well, I think we've seen what the key is already in this. 10 minutes gone, get the ball wide, put an angle cross in the box. New Zealand will end up on their own 6-yard box, and you should have a load of space for your forwards to score some goals. It's not happened yet.
It's Gay. Jed Spence. Harry Kane finding Jarrell Quansah. Rodgers has drifted out to this right-hand side as well in the opening moments of the game. Looks like it's a very fluid front three behind Harry Kane.
Really seen Harry Kane as a centre-forward yet. He's been everywhere else.
It's been a bit like that in the Bundesliga. He's been absolutely terrific for Bayern Munich. Here's Rodgers. He's been terrific for Aston Villa. He's looking to find his club mate Ollie Watkins, and nearly did. Wood, little reverse ball, chance for Garbutt. There's no one up there in support, but that's a warning sign for England.
Oh, swing your leg at it. You're not going to get many chances to get shots away.
There's another one from Singh.
Really good play from Chris Wood. He just goes on the diagonal run. He knows what's around him, just plays it in the space. I think he should be swinging his foot at that. Straight at Pickford as hard as you can. You might think, again, that one of his teammates would be up with play with him, but we've not seen that so far.
Big opportunity for Matt Garbutt of Peterborough United. Well, he would love to have scored against the country of his birth. Kane.
There's our centre-forward again.
There are goals in the Bundesliga where he's picked the ball up there, started the attack and then finished them. And bearing in mind he scored an inordinate number of goals this season, 61 in 51 games. I'd be slightly surprised if he was going to adapt it too much.
Well, the good thing is when he does go short, we have got runners ahead of him. That's been evident so far. It's just a matter of delivering the ball to him. He's such a good footballer when he does drop deep.
Rashford. Spence goes beyond him. It's for Morgan Rodgers, who gets across his marker, but Finn Sermon was fouled. The two central defenders that play in the United States of America. Finn Sermon plays at Portland Timbers on the west coast of America. Michael Boxall, his centre-half partner, is 37. Plays for Minnesota United, the older statesman of the team. Thomas Tuchel said he was intent on playing a high-energy Premier League physical game when he walked through the door, and he mentioned that in his interview yesterday, but he told me yesterday that he'd learnt a little bit from the Club World Cup League. Here is Ollie Watkins looking to escape in behind. Dragged that well wrong.
Yeah, take the positives. It's a good run, and then after that it wasn't great. Really good ball. The bend on that into the channel. He just gives himself the time. He does everything right apart from drag his shot wide. He'd be disappointed with that.
It's quick and sharp from a man who is quick and sharp. Anything but the finish there from Ollie Watkins, who responded well to being left out in March, actually, with a wonderful return. 12 goals in his last 13 games for Aston Villa. In terms of that approach play, I mean, this is obviously going to feel like a little bit of an experiment in a heat lab, isn't it, really, for England today and over the course of the next week or so. I think he said from the Club World Cup they noticed that there will be drops in intensity during games, but the model still remained.
Well, that's fine playing New Zealand, no disrespect. When we play the better teams, let's see what happens then. We're not going to see that for... Well, Croatia will obviously be a big test for England, and we'll get to see them playing against a decent side for the first time for a while.
Big on the benefit of high recoveries, placed a high value on the first goal in the game. He said it is important, especially in the conditions, not to be in a situation where you're always chasing.
He's not telling us something we didn't know there, though, is he?
He was in good spirits yesterday. He was very talkative. Whole mood around the camp was pretty positive.
I mean, how exciting is it to go into a World Cup in America, a couple of warm-up games and you're straight into it. As a player, doesn't get any better.
Rodgers, we know he can hit them from there.
Look down at the pitch. Now's the time you look down at the pitch and say, stamp down a little divot. Come on. No, he's not using the excuse. It did look like it popped up a little bit, I have to say.
There's rumours that I heard that the ball does fly, different ball this tournament, obviously. It's the Adidas Trionda, which you can see there in the arms of Max Crocombe.
Well, we've got to do the ball debate at some point. It always comes up in every tournament, doesn't it?
Prod by John Stones. Henderson was involved in the last 3 games in the Premier League season for Brentford after not really picking up too many minutes after the last international break. Just 98 minutes in the Premier League since those games against Japan and Uruguay. Influence and experience are not measured in minutes, and certainly influence is what Jordan Henderson has on this group. Kane, not a bad effort. The first time that Max Crocombe has been tested, and he was tested by England's talisman.
I thought the ball should have perhaps come in the box from Rashford. Again, that angled cross, but it didn't come. In the end, Harry Kane dropping a bit deeper, just gets his shot away. It's a good shot, but it's one the goalkeeper should always save.
Stones. This is Rodgers. Watkins, Jarrell Quansah, little back heel to Rodgers again. He looks lively. Handball there.
Was it? I thought it hit him in the face. That's the shot from Kane. Again, it's perfect for the goalkeeper. On for the photo album just about now. Snap. There we go.
This is Boxall. Welcome firing that into Joe Bell, who missed the game against Haiti in midweek. Suffered a little bit of an injury. He's now playing in Norway with Viking. Singh. Once at Bayern Munich, actually. He was scouted after coming through as a teenager in the Wellington Phoenix system. Good take by Tim Payne. Bell. A bit loose from Stamanic. And now a chance for England to break. And they've got room over on that far side for Marcus Rashford, who tries to get into the box and pull the trigger. Finn Sermon got some much-needed help. Henderson whips it in. It's a dangerous one. It's come through to Rashford again. Still alive. And Sermon prods it clear.
Yeah, he does ever so well, Sermon, the first one. You know Rashford wants it on his right foot. Look how deep again New Zealand are. That's going to be their downfall. Just their inability to hold a line defensively. And this is the break. We know he wants to get on his right foot. He's showing everything to get it there. It's good defending from Sermon.
He's being pursued by Kakache, but wriggling clear. Kane looking for Rodgers, almost bounced kindly into the path of Ollie Watkins. England have got it back again. Rodgers fended away and behind by Boxall.
And there's another evidence, if you needed any, about the pitch. Boxall just getting the ball away and then immediately looking down at the grass. Just kicks off the turf. Just watch it bounce up there. Just a little look down. You see the intensity of the pressing and the energy levels has already dropped since kickoff. The press is just a kind of organised press. It's not. There's no ferocity in it.
Rashford low into Henderson. Chance for Jed Spence to strike it. That's something they worked on. Gay staying up from the corner. Bobby Maynard. Rashford trying to get past Kakache. Ended up running into Matt Garbett. Rashford in a fascinating scenario where he's been at Barcelona this season. He's racked up a couple of really key contributions, including that free kick against Real Madrid in the Clásico. 14 goals and 11 assists in 49 matches on loan at the Camp Nou. All of a sudden it's his teammate who's got the permanent transfer in Anthony Gordon as Jed Spence once again unloads from distance.
It's a poor effort that. I think he ran out of ideas. Just move the ball a little bit quicker. And now drinks break.
Indeed, and we're going to have this over the course of the World Cup. It's a situation that is necessary with hydration breaks. We'll have 2 3-minute water breaks. Thomas Tuchel will use them as tactical timeouts as well, and breathers as well. And this is the first of those. And it gives me the opportunity to tell you about what else is coming up on ITV over the course of the next week or so. We've got the road to 2026 continuing with Brazil against Egypt tonight. That's 10:50 on ITV-X. And it also continues tomorrow at 7:50 on ITV4 and ITV-X as Morocco take on Norway. Serena Wiegmann's team have got quite a lot of work to do now. They take on Ukraine in a women's European qualifier on Tuesday at 7:30. ITV1 and STV. Wasn't a great result against Spain the other night. And then we're back with England as they take on Costa Rica in their final warm-up game. 8 o'clock on Wednesday, ITV1 and STV. And we're also going to bring you at 2 AM on Wednesday night, Argentina against Iceland. And then the World Cup 2026 gets underway Thursday, 6:15, the opening ceremony. I'm sure that's going to be entertaining. And Mexico against South Africa, ITV and STV. Let's go down to the touchline and see what the temperature's like and what the atmosphere's like pitchside with Gabriel Clark.
Well, the temperature's about 32 degrees. Obviously, it's very, very hot out there in terms of the playing surface and the players. This, as you say, is the first 3-minute mandatory cooling break, and it will be introduced for the first time at the World Cup. And the England medical and sports science team have specific methods they'll be implementing. I think it's a bit more than just a towel around the neck, which we can see at the moment. They've also been looking at palm cooling devices, this technology is designed to rapidly lower a player's core body temperature, because the blood vessels in the palms are one of the quickest ways to do that, I'm told. And the other thing, ice jackets, they're a more common sight, but it doesn't suggest, looking at the players now, as though it can be that hot, because neither of those devices are on show. This is all based on official data that has been carried out. 25% of matches in the World Cup are likely to be played in conditions where the heat becomes a concern for player welfare, and Florida is one of those locations where that is more likely to happen. So England have started in one of the hottest locations. Maybe it gets cooler from here on in.
Thanks, Gabriel. Yes, going to be a feature of the World Cup. Going to be something that you see quite a lot of, and hydration incredibly important for England. You may have seen just before the calling break was whistled that Jed Spence is wearing a jaw protector. He actually broke his jaw during an encounter with Chelsea at the end of the season. He got involved in an altercation with Liam Delap whilst they were wrestling for the ball, and it meant that he had to finish the season wearing a protective mask. There he is again, just adjusting it. He's absolutely delighted to be in this squad. Not a surprise call-up, but I think there were one or two that believed that Lewis Hall might get the nod ahead of him, as Pickford is put under a little bit of pressure straight from the restart.
Yeah, he didn't enjoy that ball. John Stones didn't enjoy the one back to him either. Where's my palm cooling device right now?
It's in my bag, I forgot to get it out.
I want one of them.
England friendlies have not been fertile ground for Thomas Tuchel. One win in the last four, that was against Wales back in October. Suffered defeat against Senegal in a surprise reverse at the City Ground last summer. That Japan defeat didn't fill everybody with confidence. Good skip away by Garbett. He's got support, Singh to his left, but Garbett keen to go for goal this time, and it just bobbled up in front of Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, he did well, Garbett, from a positional point of view. Received the ball and just thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go. Cutting on that right foot, and as you said, it bounced just before Pickford, and he didn't quite get his eye on that and his hand on it perfect. Chris Wood was just waiting for it, wasn't he?
That moment there from Kobbie Mainoo just shows, I think, the difference in confidence that we've seen in him over the course of the last year, where he was basically hardly used by Ruben Amorim, and now he's in full flow once again under Michael Carrick. Buzzing with confidence, being back in the England team as well. Here he is again.
I mean, the question mark, he's a good footballer, there's no doubt about that. That link-up play, and this is the shot, he gets away, and just watch it bounce again. Pickford has to be right on it, but going back to Mainoo, that the criticisms or the observations, should we say, about his game is, can he get around the pitch like other players in his position? Is he positive enough when he gets the ball? The link-up play is good. I think he sometimes struggles a bit when the pace just lifts up a bit in a game. We'll maybe see that later on in the tournament.
Boxall, Bell, Sven Sermon. Jed Spence covers the ground so quickly. Something that Thomas Tuchel mentioned when calling him up. The fastest player in the squad, he said. Here's Tim Payne. He's got more social media followers than anyone in New Zealand now. Eli Just. Stamanic. Boxall. England fourth in the world. New Zealand ranked 85th, the lowest ranked side that are going to be playing at the World Cup. Maybe beat England big favourites. The gap between the two is real. The interest is in how England managed to maximise that. Okay, Mike. It's a good ball into space for Jed Spence, who gallops forward. Payne shuffles across. Spence into Rogers. Back to Kobbie Mainoo. He wasn't too far away, the Manchester United man.
No, there was two players throwing himself at the ball, but he had enough time to get it away. It was a good break down that left-hand side. Again, Spence showing his willingness to get forward and just lays it back, and just watch. He has enough time. His first touch is good. It's out of his feet. Again, just watch the ball. Just sit up a little bit. It's little things like that you don't think affect the ball, but it just only has to pop up a couple of inches to make a difference.
Rashford. Watkins immediately went darting from right into the centre. Rogers. Hit the back of his own teammate there. Here's Kane, keeping the move alive. Good use of the body. This is Kwanzaa. It's a dangerous little ball, that, and Harry Kane gives a thumbs up to the Bayer Leverkusen defender. Rogers, Kwanzaa, almost came through to Kane. And England fans have come here in their numbers, hoping to see a few goals this evening, but no doubt that New Zealand were not happy about being billed as cannon fodder. They were the only unbeaten team at the 2010 World Cup, and they were in a group with Spain. Look at the speed here from Ollie Watkins, trying to get the better of Kakache. He's got Rashford in the centre. Very close.
He was waiting, wasn't he? Kakache was always struggling there. You mentioned the pace, and it was almost the pace plus the lack of the pace from the left back. He was always going to fail in that sprint, and he was just waiting for someone to arrive in the box. He couldn't wait long enough, so had to put it in. The goalkeeper in the end, Crocombe, does well.
Famous draw that they got in 2010 was Italy, not Spain. New Zealand, very proud of that, especially bearing in mind that they've never got out of a World Cup group. Hoping to change that. This is the speed of Ollie Watkins.
If you're struggling as a fullback, you're best running back towards your own goal, not towards the corner flag.
Watkins, one of the group of trophy winners that are in this England squad, 26 of them, 14 have recently picked up a trophy. It's something that Ezri Konsa touched on yesterday when we spoke to him. He said that was going to help the mentality of this group. Made a really intelligent lung-busting run into the inside left channel. The ball didn't come his way.
Roy Keane talked about that, didn't he? About picking and choosing when to make those runs, because you're going to run out of steam at some point. You've almost got to look at your mate next to you and say, your turn.
Watkins. Mainoo. Rashford. Trying to get the ball away from Payne. He's done that successfully. It's towards Harry Kane. It's saved by Crocombe. Best move of the match from England. Lovely bit of skill from Rashford, and it almost generated the first goal of the game.
Yeah, watch him just stop Payne by checking the ball back there, and that just allows him the space down the line to get his cross away. And Harry Kane knows it's coming, just peels to that far post. A little bit of a challenge from Just, maybe just puts him off a little bit, but Crocombe had to make a save.
Kane may be again the target as Rashford prepares to deliver into that near post this time. There was a push which Kache didn't like.
Sermon's done well at that back. He's had 3 or 4 really good clearances, both with his feet and his head. He needs to throw himself into challenges.
He's very much like that, puts his body on the line, reads the game brilliantly.
See, that's not okay. They've just let them come out, New Zealand. I know there's a time and a place, but the back 4 dropped off, 2 midfield players dropped off, 6 players, and Wood just goes into midfield, picks the ball up. You do that against a better team, you're in trouble.
Rashford just trying to tap the ball back to Kane. It was missed by Sermon. Watkins wasn't sharp enough to pick it up. Interesting, when Japan had their moments against England, it was on the break. A couple of times when England have been further up the pitch, the All Whites have just tried to test them in behind. There was that moment where Wood went down the left channel. Garber obviously had that big opportunity. That's something that England have to be careful about in the tournament, getting caught on the counter. We are going to see a completely different 11. That's the plan in the second half. That was a bit of a hefty challenge by Garbutt. He took too kindly to the fact that Henderson had popped the ball through his legs. Mainly just using his body. Singh couldn't get away from him, wanted a free kick that was never coming his way. "37 minutes into this friendly, Lee. What have you made of the ball speed and the tempo?"
Well, it's definitely dropped off since the start of the game, which you would probably imagine. Hang on a minute.
Here's Rodgers. A bit too close to Crocombe.
I think you set out with all good intentions, and it's certainly different than when you're training, because you can take your foot off the pedal during a training session and have a little bit of a breather. In a game, they probably start the game at certain intensity and say, well, let's do this, and then they realise that you can't because of that heat, and you can't keep going when you're struggling. And I think they've just dropped off, and what they've done by just dropping off a little bit pace-wise, they've just stopped picking up players. They're going back in positions, and they're just leaving a white shirt with a load of time on the ball, and that's fine against New Zealand, as I said, but you do that against the better teams, they will start passing around you at some point.
Still got 11 days to get themselves acclimatised. They came out here on the 1st of June. 16 days altogether, with the exception of those Arsenal players, the quartet that unavailable after the Champions League final. I feel as if that will be enough time to get up to full speed. This is the first of their real tests. Here's Jed Spence getting to the byline. Shoveled away by Sermon.
Yeah, he's been lively going forward, Jed Spence. I probably wouldn't have picked him in my squad, but he's got in there. Not had a brilliant season for Tottenham, and I think with him, he's kind of like, as Thomas Tuchel said, he's got special qualities. One of those is his pace and his one-on-ones, as Thomas Tuchel has said. But he certainly likes to get forward, again, against the better teams. What's he like defensively, position-wise?
He's had a good start to this game. England have another corner. I think they're probably reflecting on this opening 39 minutes and thinking we haven't really tested the New Zealand defence enough. One or two moments where Max Crocombe's made a save, one from Kane, one from a corner which Kane headed towards the middle of the goal. Maybe they can create something here. It's away by Bell. Rashford. His effort just dips wide of the post. It was a challenging ball for New Zealand to deal with.
Well, that's the ball all day long. We said it after 10 minutes of the game. Cutting in on the right foot from Rashford because they just drop so deep. Any sort of touch on that. And again from this right-hand side, cutting in on the left and hitting it in. The white shirts are 4 or 5 yards off the goalkeeper.
Stones is going to get 45 minutes under his belt today. Rodgers, Watkins, Kane, Mainu joining. Kane tries to shift it onto his left foot, then comes back again. Couldn't find Rodgers. Henderson engages, Watkins keeps it alive. Back to Watkins again. New Zealand can't get this clear. It's Marcus Rashford looking for an opening. Was he has looked the most likely.
Just waiting for the net to bulge. As he gets it here, he just takes one little touch outside, then again, and that just opens that far post up. And to be fair, it's wider than I thought. He should do better than that for his quality. He knows it as well.
Well, what Thomas Tuchel wants from this game is minutes in the heat. I'd suggest a clean sheet and a bit of comfortable rhythm to carry into the Costa Rica and Croatia games, especially after a couple of friendlies that haven't been great. You wouldn't mind a win as well. I think from New Zealand's point of view, what they're trying to find is a bit of cohesion, a bit of morale after what was quite a chastening defeat against Haiti. And if they can keep England at bay for some time, that'll be enough to give them a little bit of confidence before they go into games against Iran, Egypt and Belgium.
I think they've overachieved already. 41 minutes and still 0-0.
Rashford. Mainu. Kache.
Kache behind the goalkeeper soon. He's off so deep and those crosses coming in.
He's had an injury hit season.
I don't care. Just get out the box.
Now at Wrexham. Boxall. Kache being pursued by Ollie Watkins. Towards Wood, Stones gets there. John Stones checking his shoulder and giving it back to Jordan Pickford. John Stones plays a lot of games for England in tournaments. He hasn't played too many minutes in the Premier League in 2026, just 86 Premier League minutes for John Stones since the turn of the year. Only 331 minutes of football since the 9th of December. But if they can keep him fit, he is an elegant footballer, an influence on the team. Someone that Thomas Tuchel relies on. Kwanzaa. Henderson. Rashford looking for the run of Morgan Rogers. Crocombe spotted it.
He had to be quick off the mark there. Again, his defence let him down by dropping so deep. But I'm just looking down at the subs for England warming up. It's the nightmare situation when you're doing the second half, because all the lads coming off the first half in the dressing room will be going, it's really bad out there.
Spence trying to finish the first half on a high.
You're telling every one of them, what's it like, what's it like? It's really hard. You definitely want to play the first half.
Mainu. Henderson. Rogers trying to get the better of Kakacho, who's got his arms all over Morgan Rogers, who is appealing to the referee.
Yeah, did well the full-back there. Definitely prefers the closer control from Rogers rather than the flat-out sprint with him.
3 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45 minutes. We were hoping for maybe a little bit more entertainment than we've got in this first 45, but Thomas Tuchel was all about minutes on the pitch. Just looking for Wood. Just a moment there where Mark Gay just had to accelerate.
Well, they haven't had one for a while, but they've had one or two opportunities, haven't they? And Wood with his diagonal runs has been the target. In a couple of occasions, Pickford's had to make a save that he should always make, but he's been tested.
Wood is the captain of this team, he's the talisman of this team, he's a record breaker. Nobody has scored more goals for New Zealand. No one has played more games for them either. Gerald Quansah in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Still Quansah. Sermon got there ahead of Kane. Spence. Bit of movement in the centre from Kane. And finally, England's American adventure starts. And of course it starts with a Harry Kane goal. In first half stoppage time, he's had a couple of opportunities which Max Crocombe has repelled. But there was no stopping that one. And England will go into the break with a half-time lead.
Well, it's no shock to me, one, that Spencer's involved, cutting on the right. Watch how deep New Zealand end up. I mean, you cannot defend like that. It's a good header. Nobody marking him because they're too busy trying to get on the goal line. Jed Spence, right foot, angled cross. Deep defence means one thing. Harry Kane has got all the goal to aim at. He just gets a little flick on it. Far corner, there it is, 1-0 England.
61 goals in 51 games, a career best for Bayern Munich this season. And his 79th goal on his 113th cap for England. He will be eyeing up Gary Lineker's World Cup haul as well in the next couple of weeks. Well, Harry Kane getting England in front just prior to the break. Minutes on the pitch for this first 11. England will end up changing all of those in the second half. They have been pretty comfortable. A few border raids from New Zealand. Not the most swashbuckling performance from England in that first 45 minutes, but job done and minutes in the bank. Reaction on the way. Half-time in Tampa. England lead by a goal to nil. Youngest ever scorer in England's history. Breaking the record set by Wayne Rooney. Bellingham in the 10. Gordon left and Ivan Toney will lead the line. Used to the hot temperatures, having scored 32 goals in Saudi Arabia. So Livramento at left back and O'Reilly in midfield. Lee Dixon, having had a look at the shape of the team, he's surprised that Livramento and Spence have been the left backs so far today.
Well, yeah, I think obviously when the left back position was being looked at, O'Reilly was very, very dominant for Manchester City, albeit a slightly morphed midfield left back, and that's the case again, him being in that midfield area. I think there's a few players sitting at home, Shaw and all of them maybe are looking at it saying, you know, maybe I could have had a chance there, but I do like Livramento. I think he's an adaptable player who can play on both sides, but it's an interesting one with O'Reilly. Such a good footballer, sometimes you think he can be wasted at that left back position and not particularly tested playing for Manchester City as a regular full-back. Certainly wanders into midfield as much as he can when he plays with a blue shirt on his back.
Here is O'Reilly. Livramento, who's had an injury-interrupted end to the season. Konza. James Trafford, who played in both cup finals, the FA Cup final and the League Cup final for Manchester City, and played very well in both. Here's Elliot Anderson, who was challenged in midfield. Singh being spoken to by the referee. What did you make of that first 45 minutes? How did you think the players played? Anyone stake a claim to start against Croatia?
No, I don't even think Thomas Tuchel was looking at that. I think it's such an obvious training session, the way that the players, even these lot that just come out, we were talking about it at half-time, about how much warm-up they were doing and practicing. It was almost like the game started now, even though you got 10 minutes before the game officially kicks off for the second half. You're actually doing a training session. They were all out there going through drills and everything, so it's all part of the day to get minutes, to get acclimatisation, all of that. So I don't think anything can be read into either of the teams that are put out there.
It's fascinating to look at Harry Kane's heat map in that first half. 21 touches, only 2 of them inside the penalty area. One of them was a goal, another one was a header on target. New Zealand have made a change. Joe Bell has gone out at half-time and he's been replaced by Rufer. Here's Anthony Gordon, now Barcelona. Bellingham for Real Madrid. Reece James finding Rio Engamoa, making his debut in England colours, but being seen in familiar red. Gordon getting down the outside and forcing an early corner.
It's going to take a bit of time. I do like Gordon. I think he's a really good player, but it's going to take a bit of time. Anthony Gordon, Barcelona, it doesn't quite ring to me at the moment. I'm sure he's settled in, and we'll see the best of him playing for such an amazing, brilliant Spanish club.
Set pieces may well be important at this World Cup, and England do have quite a few of the Premier League contingent who can deliver a good ball, and Reece James is certainly one of those. The referee just getting involved as Cache tries to prevent Jude Bellingham from getting free. James into that near post, it travelled a very long way. Tony tried to get a flick on it. Crocombe Kane didn't get there, and that's headed narrowly wide. Dan Burn knows that that was so close to his first England goal.
Yeah, a vertical ball dropping straight up and straight down. The one person who's likely to get his head on it is him, just inches wide.
Just kissed the outside of the post, didn't it, from Dan Burn, who scored in the Carabao Cup final 18 months ago for his beloved Newcastle United. Bellingham. A bit physical over on that far side. Getting acquainted with Kakache already. It's been a fascinating week. Other nations, big contenders for the World Cup, have had some trouble in friendlies. France losing to the Ivory Coast. Spain drawing with Iraq. Netherlands losing to Algeria this week. So much to consider during the run-up to the tournament. Lots of chopping and changing in terms of personnel. Players not wanting to get injured. The changes affecting the rhythm. The World Cup just a little over a week away.
I tell you what, not one of those results will matter one jot as soon as we kick off in a week's time. No one will remember any of them.
And that's what we should bear in mind. All of these matches that building up to the tournament are just preparation games for next Thursday's big kick-off. Scotland having a very good afternoon by the sounds of things against Bolivia. Well on by James, picked up by Bellingham, looking to release Anthony Gordon. Sermon scampering back. Gordon's cross is just a bit behind Tony.
That shows the best of both of those players. Certainly the run from Gordon, maybe the cross. Put the ball into the channel outside the foot from Bellingham. He just tried to feed it into the run, the space for Tony. No one able to get into the box other than him. Well, that'll be a heat thing as well, you know, that effort to get into the box. We went to Miami in the early 90s with George Graham and trained for 10 minutes and had to go under a tent for another 10 minutes to take water on board, then back out for another 10 minutes training. It was unbearable.
Well, England have done their very best to try and get acclimatised, and they've been working in infrared heat saunas over the course of the last few months. Some of the players have put them in their houses. Their marginal gains kit is getting a lot of attention. They have got the wristbands that monitor all of their vitals. Oxygen chambers has been used. The manager's not a slave to the data he was telling us yesterday, but he definitely knows when players are at their peak. One of the exciting things about England is that when they make 11 changes at half-time for a game like this, the quality of the team is still stellar. Anthony Gordon trying to test Garbutt. Still going, Anthony Gordon. His effort was repelled by Sermon, but here's Rio Ngamoa trying to dazzle his way into the box. Shot once again defended. Gordon, Elliot Anderson. This is Tino Livramento. Sermon heads it clear. Bit of England pressure. Rio Ngamoa. Jude Bellingham. Now Tino Livramento. More space for Livramento down this left-hand side. Sermon comes across. Livramento stands it up. It's a little bit too heavy for Rio Ngamoa. Here he goes again. Well, Liverpool haven't had the best of seasons, but he's definitely been a bright spot in it.
He's a talent. That's why he's here. Just to have a look at him at this standard of football. I know it's not the greatest opposition, but the pressure when those three lines are on your chest is enough.
No Liverpool player in the actual World Cup squad for the first time since 1986.
Wow, that is quite unbelievable, isn't it?
Anderson finding Ngamoa. He's well blocked by Sarpreet Singh. This has been the subject of a bit of transfer speculation this week. It's brought him back down to earth. Cracking season for Nottingham Forest. He won possession back in the Premier League 96 times more than any other player.
That's impressive. It's a big number. Nottingham Forest could have given the ball away quite a lot for him to win the ball back. Maybe that's something to do with it. I'm just joking.
Focus on the positive, you. James shoving inside that penalty area, which has alerted the attention of the referee. Bit of grappling going on in the line of scrimmage, and we are at the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, owned and operated by the Glazer family. The Bucks are in the off-season. They open the 2026 season against Cincinnati. You just saw a quick glimpse of the Buccaneers boat, a tall ship behind the goal, which the England fans have definitely been enjoying.
It's a great stadium, isn't it?
We didn't get Jolly Rogers in the first half, but England will hope to rock the boat in the second.
Ouch.
Burn. This is Anderson.
You just get the feeling that the fizz has gone out of New Zealand a little bit. They're just containment at the moment. I saw them try and break away a few times and had a few bits of joy in that first half, but it's been all England so far in this second half, possession-wise.
And new 11 just probing. Elliot Anderson just trying to raise the rhythm. Livramento. Gordon. He's playing his first football since the 12th of April. O'Reilly. Might have been a foul there on Ivan Toney. Knew exactly what he was doing in the attempt to win that set piece.
Didn't look like much of a foul to me, but what do I know?
Well, Tim
decent
Payne
position,
was
this.
the man who committed, and everybody knows who Tim Payne is now because he was apparently the footballer with the least number of social media followers going to this World Cup, until an Argentine social media star stepped in. He's now got 5 million followers. He's very happy about it. And England will be happy if they can breach the All Whites defence here. And Reece James sizing this one up. Only one England goal so far. Straight into the chest of Stamanic. That's a sore one. That's a good ball from Gordon to find Nkamoa. England have never failed to score against New Zealand, albeit it's a tiny sample. They beat them 1-0 in 1991, 2-0 just 3 days later. The only 2 meetings between the two countries before today. Bellingham. They're looking to add to Harry Kane's opener. Livramento onside. Toney. He feels he was fouled, and the referee concurs. But the offside flag was up.
He gave a penalty. And then obviously that flag, peripheral vision caught her eye.
Well, that's to be interesting. Well, it's tight.
That can't get much tighter than that.
We do have VAR.
100% sure it's a foul either. We'll have a look here. Is this? I'll tell you what, it's not even a foul.
Jose Da Silva over on the far side was eagle-eyed. Darren Baisley pretty pleased that there will be no penalty. He's about to make a couple of changes. Max Crocombe away to our left-hand side is just stretching himself out over on that left-hand side. The VAR now looking at that potential penalty. I think we are going to get our substitutions whilst we're having this delay here. Everybody in the stadium's just been alerted to the VAR check. It seems to have been ongoing for quite some while. They're obviously measuring the offside. And we're going to get Jesse Randall, Tyler Bindon and Ben Old all coming on. Garbett, Payne and Kakache going off.
They've got the offside to have a look at, and then they've got, was it a foul?
Well, there's so much more for VAR to look at this World Cup because of the changes in the guidance that the IFAB have implemented. We were a little bit concerned earlier when we were speaking to our laws analyst, Christina Unkel, who's going to join us for the tournament. There's so much to unpick for the referees and the officials. We might end up getting even longer games. Certainly, I think FIFA don't want that to happen.
We were talking about it earlier, about the biggest one so far, weren't we? About he's offside clearly by 15 centimetres. Then put your flag up as referee's assistant instead of this ridiculous thing that's been going on of letting offsides go.
You mean the delayed flag?
The delayed flag.
Well, we're hoping that the new bit of kit that they've got at the World Cup will stop the delayed flag and the confusion that sometimes that brings.
Well, it's farcical, it really is. Has been, anyway.
There's a collision there in midfield involving Stamanic and Jude Bellingham. In and out for Swansea towards the end of the season. Marco Stamanic was very well thought of back in New Zealand. England fans behind the goal away to our left certainly enjoying themselves as Stamanic goes through the concussion protocols. Interesting that after changing the whole 11 in the second half against Haiti, Darren Baisley has decided not to do that today. $25,889 have packed into the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay today to watch England, which is a pretty good attendance, really. Stellar attendance, really, for a friendly taking place in Tampa. There's so many England flags, so many England supporters have made the journey out here. Earlier on we were hearing Gabriel Clark go through the trials and tribulations that many England fans have had to get World Cup tickets and the huge cost implications of them. Lovely run by Rio Ngamoa, trying to feed Ivan Toney. And that started with Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, brilliant ball. Great run. In order for it to be a brilliant ball, you have to have a run like this, out to in, there's the space behind the fullback. Fullback's too wide, creates that opportunity to run on the inside of him, just overhit the ball to Tony.
Anderson. James. Engamo has had a lot of touches in his first 20 minutes as an England player. Industry from Bellingham. Chance to break out on that left-hand side for New Zealand. Jesse Randall. Gone behind. Livramento. Konsa. Stretching Vauxhall, but it almost worked for Ivan Toney, who gives his teammate a thumbs up. With a crossfield ball, James alert to it. Good to see Reece James back and fit and firing once again. As he's back in by Chelsea at the end of the season, if they can keep him fit, I'm pretty certain that he's going to be the starting right back.
Yeah, for sure, he's the best right back we've got. As you said, real injury issues.
Thomas Tuchel did speak to us yesterday, suggesting that there would be a role for him, possibly as a 6, if required. A role that he has been playing for Chelsea. Ngamoa. Livramento getting it back to Elliot Anderson. Thomas Tuchel wants to see his players work at their maximum today. Test themselves in the heat and humidity of the Florida summer. Livramento. This is Anderson. It took a couple of bounces on the way through, and then I think it ended up striking the arm of Ivan Toney. And that brings the third quarter to an end, as I'm sure it is. It's a hydration break, and gives me the opportunity to tell you about what's to come. Be interesting to see what Carlo Ancelotti's team looks like tonight. Brazil against Egypt is live at 10:50 on ITVX. Neymar back in the fold now, hasn't played for Brazil for 2.5 years. We've got Morocco-Norway tomorrow, 7:50, as the road to 26 continues on ITV4 and ITVX. England against Ukraine, the Lionesses back in action Tuesday night, 7:30, ITV1 and STV. And the international football continues. Wednesday night, England against Costa Rica, Thomas Tuchel's final friendly before the World Cup, 8 o'clock ITV1 and STV. Argentina-Iceland follows 2 AM ITVX, and then World Cup 2026, the opening ceremony, and Mexico against South Africa is live from 6:15 on Thursday. Let's go down to Gabriel Clark, who's got some updates on the England squad.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, 4 England players are not in Tampa. They're arriving into Florida tonight. The Arsenal quartet: Declan Rice, Eberechi Eze, Noni Madueke and Bukayo Saka, given 5 days off after the Champions League final and then the Arsenal title parade. They'll go straight to the England base in Palm Beach tonight and do their own training session first thing tomorrow, and then will be available for selection for the final friendly against Costa Rica in Orlando on Wednesday. The 4 standby players, Rio Ungamoa, Alex Scott, Josh King and Ethan Wanieri, who've been out here with the squad since Monday, will stay with them till Saturday, so they'll be in Orlando as well. And it's just worth confirming, if England get an injury to one of their outfield 23 named in the World Cup squad, they have up to 24 hours before their first World Cup game against Croatia to call up a replacement, but let's hope that is not required.
Certainly Thomas Tuchel will be hoping that that isn't required. He's just gone through his final tactical instructions to the players that remain on the pitch. Josh King, Ethan Wanieri and Alex Scott actually sitting on the bench tonight, all ready to come on if necessary in this second half. We already had our debutant, the 5th youngest man to play for England, Rio Ungamoa. And this was why the penalty decision didn't go in England's favour, the slightest of offside calls.
Go back to what I said, I don't think it was a foul anyway, so... But anyway, didn't matter.
Well, the New Zealand team will be delighted with that. The New Zealand national football team, known as the All Whites, a nod to the All Blacks who don the famous rugby union shirt. The women's team is the White Ferns, and the rest of the New Zealand teams follow a similar sort of naming custom. Hockey, the Black Sticks. But when I was looking at this yesterday, the best one for me was the basketball one.
Go on.
The Tall Blacks.
Yeah, good. Like that. I could think of another couple, but...
Could you?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
All Black jersey is very, very famous, almost sacred in New Zealand. I think that's why the rest of the sporting teams want to take it on in some guise.
So they should.
James. And a couple more New Zealand subs in the next few moments. England need to try and up the tempo a little bit and try and test the back line. The hydration break just affecting the rhythm. Certainly Rio Ungamoa has had a very productive 20 or so minutes. It's good from Anderson in a tight situation. Gordon getting away from his marker, seeing it back up for Nico O'Reilly. Was pinched off his toes by Tony. It's hit towards goal by Bellingham.
Well, sometimes you make your own luck. Anthony Gordon just taking on his fullback, didn't quite get his trick sorted out, but the alert there, just a little touch off the defender, gets him in there, and he couldn't quite get the shot goal down. That looked like it hurt as well, right on the end of the ankle.
Mentioned it earlier on that Anthony Gordon hadn't played since the 12th of April. There's a few players in that situation, having had a break at the end of the season as well. And Karen mentioned at half-time about the fact that this is two teams, mixed teams, that haven't really ever played together before, and they're finding those connections. That excuse the fact that England haven't really added to their goal tally in the second half?
There's lots of reasons. There's lots of reasons. You know, as you said, I'm surprised that he's taking this to two halves practice with a mix of first-team players and obviously ones that are not going to start. I just feel that I think everybody would like to see a little bit more of a team that might start against Croatia forming. We certainly will against Costa Rica, I'm sure.
1-1 by Anderson, and Gamoa released O'Reilly, who in turn has found Gordon. Pushed off in by Tyler Binden. Has it back again. Tyler Binden is officially registered to Nottingham Forest. Spent the season on loan at Sheffield United. 25 games in the Championship last season for Chris Wilder. O'Reilly. Bellingham looking to try and find Ivan Toney. Still looking to make those substitutions, New Zealand. And Gamoa trying to power away from the defender, and he really tested him.
With him, you always get the commitment, they're trying to commit the full-back to something. He's got trick after trick. He's just trying to unbalance the full-back, get half a yard. Sometimes his delivery's not always timed with the space that he's got. He'll learn that as he gets older.
Didn't have much warning in terms of the referee going to speak to players in the first half from the set pieces, but it's been a lot more evident in the second half. Jude Bellingham has attracted a bit of attention, and he is so from Tyler Binden here. Remember, if England score, VAR will check all of the holding, pushing and potential foul making before the ball is kicked in a twerk to the laws of the game. Here's Byrne with a header, which took a deflection. It'll be another corner. He got himself free there, Dan Byrne. Gamoa's cross. Toney coming in around the back. Still a bit too big for him.
Saw that a lot in the first half, that angle cross and how deep New Zealand do drop. There are always opportunities around the 6-yard box. Finally, the substitutions.
We're going to see Francis de Vries at the end of the afternoon for Eli Just, who played most of the season with Motherwell, and a really good first season with Motherwell. He was on the shortlist for Scotland's PFA Player of the Year. Chris Wood, who played 71 minutes against Haiti in midweek, is off after 78 today. Costa Barbarousis coming on to replace him. Free kick for New Zealand, and an opportunity for Francis de Vries to try and swing this into the box. It's a big cross aimed in towards the centre, no Wood to aim at, but England have put it behind. It's a New Zealand corner. And James Trafford, who has had very little to do, now faces the first corner of this second half. De Vries' set-piece deliveries have caused problems in the past for opponents of New Zealand. That one's right under the goalkeeper. And Isri Konza got in the way, but there was a foul spotted by the referee, Natalie Simon. England have handed minutes to 22 different players today. It's the first time that they have done so in any fixture since June 2004, when they played Iceland in a warm-up game before the Euro 2004 tournament. If I remember rightly, that game was at the Etihad.
I suppose if you said to the players, we're playing one warm-up game against Costa Rica, and then we're having a really hard training session today, and you're all going to be put through your paces for 45 minutes, you'd kind of, yeah, okay, we'll do that. So I get it now, but I just think moving forward, do we need an extra game? We've not had an awful lot of games recently. Can we play a team that's nearly resembles the team that's going to go out against Croatia, or is this the right way to do it? Time will tell.
Contact was made with Miami United about a behind closed doors set-piece session. Bellingham helping it on. Rio Ngamoa trying to find an opening. Bellingham, lovely turn. Brilliant from Bellingham. O'Reilly trying to get it back to Tino Livramento. New Zealand haven't got it clear. It's Bellingham again. Blasted it.
Yeah, good feet, good bit of skill. The set-up play, and then he gets it back. And again, just have a look at the ball. Let's just see whether that bit of skill, see whether the ball pops up when he has his shot. Some of the little bobbles are so small, but it only takes a couple of inches, as I said in the first half, for it to fly off the instep of your boot.
Just a couple of things on your minutes discussion that you were having. They've spoke to Miami United about doing that sort of set-piece session where the opponents won't really know what's coming, so England can practice their set pieces behind closed doors. Uruguay have had no warm-up games whatsoever. Marcelo Bielsa deciding that that's not going to be the case. He does his things his own way, though, doesn't he, Marcelo Bielsa?
Absolutely.
But Thomas Tuchel told us what he didn't want is to split up the group. So if you play a team today for 60 minutes or whatever, and a couple of subs come on, then you've got to get them back out tomorrow and have a blowout. And he didn't want to do that because he'd have to split the group up. He wanted to keep everybody together. And by giving everyone 45 minutes, he's done that.
Yeah, I get that. Time will tell. If they play Costa Rica and score 3 or 4 goals, and then they play Croatia, give them a good idea, then you go, well done. If that doesn't happen, you'll be going, why didn't you play your team? So he's the manager. He's getting paid big bucks to make these decisions, and we're just offering opinions.
Rufat trying to fend the ball forward into Costa Barbarouses. It's going to be 5 more New Zealand subs for the final 6 minutes of the game. Jesse Randall has bent his run, but offside flag was always going to go up against him. And here are those changes. We have a new goalkeeper as well. On comes Nando Pineacre. Callum McCowart. Callan Elliott. Lachlan Blayless, and the goalkeeper change sees the introduction of Michael Wood. Wood, who plays for Auckland FC, in his 6th cap tonight. Or it's actually Paulson who's going to come on, not Wood. They got the wrong number there. Alex Paulson, who actually played really well in the first half of the game against Haiti. Pretty impressive with his feet. He's actually at Bournemouth signed from Wellington Phoenix, spent the season on loan at Lechia Gdansk. Bengamar. O'Reilly. Tony thought he was fouled. The referee concurs that Nando Pineacre was a little bit too aggressive.
It's good football from England. They played out well there.
There have been moments, haven't they, when they've sort of shown what they're capable of.
Brief.
They came here expecting to beat New Zealand. It looks like they're going to do that, albeit narrowly. We've seen enough of that high-tempo Premier League style football that Thomas Tuchel wanted to see. Might see some here. Here's Gordon. Just testing the alertness of the substitute goalkeeper Alex Paulson.
I think that's unrealistic to expect that Premier League style high-intensity football. He might have said it. I don't think he believes that. I think elements of it, yes, but you can't do it. It's simple as that. You cannot play that way in this weather. Short spaces of time, and that's about it.
Callum Elliott. I think that's something that he learned when watching the Club World Cup last year, the fact that intensity will drop at certain times, and there are moments in the game where England would sort of go through lulls, but then when they wanted and needed to up it, they should be able to do that. And that's what he wants from the team. We'll see how it materialises over the course of the next few weeks. Follow it all with us on ITV. This guy's been a bright spot. England fans are going to take to him quite quickly. He was too quick there for Lachlan Bayliss. James. Byrne with a header. Bellingham trying to win it back high up. O'Reilly getting involved too. And they almost pinched it, England. They've got it now. And the referee spotted something she didn't like.
Then we need to blow the final whistle. The Mexican wave started. This is the brilliant ball in.
What a great goal that is.
Customary header. Give him that much space and allow him to run that close to the goal for a header, and you're in big trouble.
European Golden Shoe winner. Things that maybe Thomas Tuchel might be concerned about is when he's not on the pitch, they don't tend to score too many goals. And that's obvious because he's so good. Burn away. New Zealand maybe with a late chance here. Jesse Randall in attendance. Callum Elliott's just fed the ball to Callum McCowart. He's got it back again. England trying to set fair up the other end of the pitch, and Bellingham is interrupted by a challenge from Alex Rufer. Gordon. The second half team, between the lot of them, have only got 11 international goals. Four minutes of added time.
Whose idea was that?
We're definitely always going to be 3 for the hydration break.
Yeah, of course.
England scored right at the end of the first half. Maybe they can get another right at the end of the second half here. England fans certainly have enjoyed themselves and been in fine voice. James.
Yeah, we'll see a different tempo against Costa Rica. I think it's important now we've watched the game, how much of a training session this has been.
Konsa has picked up a little whack here. 2 New Zealand players went towards him, and he just darted in between.
He's all right.
Always a concern at this stage. A few days before the World Cup. No one wants to pick up any injury that would rule them out of starting the first game. First game always sets the tempo. Looking forward to that one against Croatia in Dallas in 11 days' time. James. Tony! He would usually gobble those up. I think the offside flag might have gone up anyway.
Yeah, he's glad. No one more in the stadium than him. Because that is an easy chance for him, it really is. Just see how much he'd wander offside. But he'll be disappointed. He'd still like to finish him forwards, even if they're offside. He'd be thankful for that flag.
There's been 1 or 2 promising performances. I thought Jed Spence and Marcus Rashford in the first half did themselves no harm at all. In the second half?
Yeah, but I think when you're sitting on the bench watching, that's when Anthony Gordon comes on and goes, we've got to be better than Marcus Rashford. Livramento have got to be better than Jed Spence. And I think the first half performers were... It's slightly easier in the first half. You're starting from scratch. When you're coming on in the second half, it's more difficult.
James and Ngamoa combining well. James's ball a bit behind Bellingham. James is not allowing New Zealand to get off lightly, and he's won a throw-in.
Yeah, because you're getting into a game in the second half that the opposition are already into, so you're kind of playing a little bit of catch-up. But as I said, it's all down to the fact that it has to be seen as a training session and nothing more than that, because we haven't got an awful lot more out of the game for me.
And that's what the manager wanted.
Yeah, exactly, apart from the fitness levels.
Tell you what,
and this lad,
he might well stay the case for taking a few headlines. Rio Ngamoa has been superb. Good ball in towards that near post, dealt with at the first instance. Ngamoa again. Well, he's certainly been a talking point, and so has Harry Kane, who got the only goal of the game in first half stoppage time. As far as England are concerned, as far as Thomas Tuchel is concerned, it's job done and on to the next. And those fans turned up in their droves today. 28,000 in a Tampa Bay stadium hosting a friendly against New Zealand is nothing short of a stellar response from the England supporters. And Harry Kane on the score sheet once again to score his 79th international goal and the one that steers England to victory. Lots of minutes in the bank for every one of the outfield players that will go to the World Cup in England colours, apart from the quartet from Arsenal that's still yet to join up with the squad. But it's Harry Kane again who steals the show with a deft header that gives Thomas Tuchel victory in their penultimate friendly before the World Cup starts in earnest. Join us for the final one on Wednesday night when England take on Costa Rica. But it's finished here in Tampa at the Raymond James Stadium. England 1, New Zealand 0.
England's next and final warm-up match Wednesday night in Orlando. We'll bring it to you when we're in our New York studio. The World Cup starts the next night. Karen, the result in many ways is irrelevant. Bit of air in the lungs, bit of miles in the legs. That's really what it's about. And fingers crossed, no injuries.
Yeah, that was the biggest one there. When Conte went down, I was a bit like, oh, hopefully he's all right. But yeah, I mean, as a friendly and a build-up match for a World Cup, that was perfect, really. Minutes, no injuries, and started to get the rhythm. Didn't set the world alight, but we're not expecting that for this game tonight.
What do you think, Roy?
Yeah, just like a pre-season game. Yeah, obviously, just a reminder. We know that England have a lot of good players, but Kane is the main man. You know, he reminds us every time he plays for England, he's top man. But yeah, it was going to be disjointed with all the changes. There's no surprises. But again, let's not overanalyse it. It's like a training session, fitness session. Hopefully, for England's point of view, there'll be no reaction after the game. Sometimes you might feel something the following.